This story is for those who fight life every single day, whose smiles hide silent pain, who stay strong for everyone else, but never get the chance to cry for themselves. And for those who understand the exhaustion in a traveler's eyes, without needing to hear a single word. The story you're about to hear may just touch your heart and maybe change the way you see life. The atmosphere at Newark Airport was as chaotic as ever. Announcements echoing overhead, wheels rolling across tiled floors, people rushing in every direction. But among the crowd stood someone who didn't quite blend in. Daniel Carter, a single father with a face full of both worry and hope. In his left hand, he held the small fingers of his 7-year-old daughter, Emily, and in the other, a worn-out brown suitcase. Emily's eyes sparkled with excitement. It was their first official plane ride. Newark to Seattle, a one-way trip toward a better life. Daniel had left behind everything in New Jersey. A soul-draining job, a crumbling apartment, and years of silent pain. His mission was simple: give Emily a life worth living. The line at the check encounter was long. While standing with Emily, Daniel's phone buzzed, a message from a recruiter. Interview confirmed for 3 p.m. tomorrow. He smiled. This was the first concrete step toward rebuilding. But then he noticed Emily's hand had slipped away from his. Emily! Daniel spun around in panic. Heart racing, he searched everywhere. Emily! Baby girl! He looked near the cafeteria, by the restrooms, even the gift shop. For a terrifying moment, it felt like the world had stopped. Then a janitor pointed down the hallway. You looking for a little girl with brown curls? She was near gate 12. Daniel rushed there and found Emily sitting calmly, chatting with an elderly black woman. The woman looked at Daniel and smiled. Your love is strong. That child only went where her heart felt your spirit calling. Daniel knelt and wrapped Emily in his arms, trembling. Baby, please don't ever run off again. I just saw a cute little puppy, Emily exclaimed. I wanted to pet him. Daniel laughed through his tears. Next time, I'll come with you. Back at the counter, they learned that a mistake had been made. Daniel had booked tickets for the wrong gate. Their flight to Seattle was boarding at gate 32, not 25. Time was short. They sprinted across the terminal. By the time they reached the right gate, the final boarding call was echoing. Final call for flight 784 to Seattle. They made it in the nick of time. But once seated, another surprise awaited them. Someone was already in their seat. Daniel politely said, "Excuse me, I think these are our seats." The man showed his ticket, same seat numbers. Confused, the flight attendant was called. After checking, she looked at Daniel with a raised brow. "Mr. Carter, it seems your tickets are actually for the next flight, but you've already boarded. Guess the seat is yours now." Daniel blinked. "So, we're good." She smiled. "Lucky mistake, sir. Enjoy your flight." He chuckled. Maybe it was a small blessing, but the real blessing was just ahead. Sitting directly across from them was Mr. Howard Bentley, a billionaire philanthropist on his way to Seattle to fund a new children's hospital. Emily, with her natural charm, started talking. "You have so many papers, are you doing homework?" Howard laughed. "No, sweetheart, this is business work." "Are you in school?" "I'm in 2nd grade. Emily grinned proudly. "But we're finding a new one. My dad's getting a new job." Daniel looked a little embarrassed. "She's very talkative." Howard stared at Daniel for a moment. "You're a single dad, aren't you?" Daniel nodded. Howard smiled gently. "Your daughter loves you deeply." That single sentence struck Daniel's heart. It had been so long since anyone spoke to him with that kind of warmth. By the end of the flight, Emily and Howard had become friends. As they landed, Howard handed Daniel his business card. "There's a dinner tomorrow night. Social workers, investors, dreamers join us." Daniel was stunned. "Me, an invitation." Howard winked. "Sometimes a mistake brings us exactly where we're meant to be." Seattle's air was crisp and cold as Daniel and Emily exited the airport in a budget cab. Emily beamed with joy, but Daniel's mind was restless. Was that dinner invite just a polite gesture? Why would a billionaire extend a real invitation to a stranger? The next morning, Daniel attended his job interview, a delivery coordinator role at a local logistics firm. It went okay, but the pay was low, and hours clashed with Emily's school needs. Back home, he found Emily asleep on the couch, still wearing her tiny jacket. He gently took it off, covered her, and whispered to himself, "I won't settle for just survival. She deserves more." He pulled out Howard's card and dialed the number. A warm voice answered. "Or Mr. Carter?" "Mr. Bentley has been expecting your call. Dinner's at 7. You're welcome to bring Emily." Daniel couldn't believe it. This was real. That evening, dressed in modest sweaters and worn shoes, they stood outside a grand estate filled with luxury cars and people in suits and gowns. Daniel looked down at his scuffed shoes and felt small. But then the doors opened. Howard himself stepped out. "There you are!" "Welcome, my friend." He embraced Emily and placed a hand on Daniel's shoulder. "You're not just a guest tonight. You're my inspiration." "Inspiration?" Daniel asked, confused. Howard led them inside. "You reminded me that heroes don't wear capes. They carry lunchboxes, hold tiny hands, and never stop trying." Inside the hall, soft candlelight flickered, violins played, and people talked in hushed tones. Daniel looked around like he had entered another world. Then Howard stood on stage. "Tonight," he began, "I want you to meet someone special. A man who made a simple mistake at the airport, but that mistake brought him here and reminded me why we do what we do. Please welcome Daniel Carter." Frozen in place, Daniel shook his head, but Howard waved him up. Nervously, Daniel stepped onto the stage. He took the mic, voice trembling. "I'm just a dad who wakes up every day trying to keep the light in his daughter's eyes alive. We make mistakes, but sometimes those mistakes lead us to the very place we're meant to be." Silence fell. A few sniffles echoed through the room. Emily smiled proudly from below. Afterward, people approached Daniel. An elderly couple offered to fund Emily's education. A single mom hugged him and said, "You gave me strength tonight." Then Howard came forward. "Starting tomorrow, I want you to join my foundation. Help other single parents find the strength you showed tonight." Tears welled up in Daniel's eyes. "All my life felt like struggle, but maybe every hardship was guiding me here." A month later, Daniel had a new apartment, Emily joined a top school, and Daniel's job was to mentor struggling single parents. He told every new dad, "Sometimes your biggest mistake becomes your greatest direction." One day, Howard said to him, "You've taught me that true wealth isn't measured in dollars. It's measured in kindness." Daniel smiled And you taught me that even mistakes carry hidden miracles. At a school event, Emily stands on stage giving a speech. My daddy taught me to never give up. That mistakes don't break us. They guide us to where we're supposed to be. Daniel watches from the front row, eyes filled with pride. Sometimes a small mistake leads you to exactly where you were meant to go. Every pain, every delay has a purpose. Never give up. Your moment is coming. And it might arrive disguised as a simple mistake. If this story touched your heart, please subscribe to this channel. Your one click could bring light into someone else's darkness. Because we're all walking through something, and sometimes what we need most is a story like this. Subscribe now.